Joe Rogan. What's going on with Joe Rogan? What have you seen, Oscar? We've
So
talked
what
about
I've
this a
seen
little
about
bit.
is
Yeah.
that he got corona, and then he used a couple of medications, including ivermectin, to deal with the symptoms, and then he got better after 3 days.
Ivermectin being
Ivermectin-
the dewormer.
Ivermectin is a medication used to treat parasite infections. Okay, yeah, you're right. It's a dewormer.
Animal dewormer, yeah.
In humans, this include head lice, scabies, river blindness, spondyloitis, and trichuria. Some things I can't read. Anyway, so it's used in humans, not in animals.
That's an important part that a lot of the mainstream media has left out. Just so you
Yes,
know
so
that.
this is actually just Wikipedia. It's used in humans, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was Joe Rogan on another podcast whereby the guy who invented the mRNA virus, so the mRNA vaccine, was suggesting that it is advisable to take ivermectin while you to catch COVID.
So you have this corner of people who are quite respectable. You look at them and they don't seem to be tied to any corporation, or there isn't a very clear monetary connection to what they're saying or other incentives. Why would they say this? It's not really clear why else they would say this, except it's something that they truly believe, right? Then you have the government and the CDC saying no, and there's a whole bunch of other doctors as well on their side saying no, don't take the drug. It has all these weird side effects. Take the vaccine. The vaccine is the number one thing that you should be taking. Don't even think about any other drug. And then Joe Rogan comes along and says, I have COVID and I took...
He took ivermectin and other things, not ivermectin alone. He didn't take ivermectin alone. He took that and other things.
Yeah, in the latest clip, I remember watching a clip of his podcast with, what's his name? Tom Segura? Was it with Tom Segura?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it was with Tom. So he says he took like a whole array of different drugs. So they attacked it with so many different things. And it seemed that he was just from an event, like a comedy event that he did, a show. And it was part and part the drinking and the physical stress of coming from a show that made it a lot worse in his case. He said it himself, if he went straight into a hotel and slept instead of going and drinking out and doing his own thing, he probably would have been a lot better in the morning. In the morning he felt like shit, and then that's when he went to a doctor. And it's a doctor that prescribed this thing to him. I think that's the most important part that CNN and all these other mainstream media that have been leaving out. They went with this angle of Joe Rogan has been dismissive of the vaccine in the past. Look at him taking this weird ivermectin. Look, it's an animal dewormer. Jesus Christ, look at how crazy he is, right? They've gone with the angle of, oh my god, Joe Rogan is just off the table. He's doing crazy shit, right? He's just a crazy person. And then when you look at what he does, like, even I remember the quotes that one of these websites had. I feel fucking good in all caps.
Because he got COVID?
Because he got COVID and he was taking the drug, Ivermectin. That was the quote they used on the title, right? Yeah. And I'm like, wow, they're really trying to just discredit him and make him look like a lunatic here. Because when I said when I saw that quote, I feel fucking good, I already knew this is 100% taken out of context. Because I know Joe Rogan, if you listen to Joe's podcast for a while, he does say stuff like that, but usually it comes after or before something else, right? So I'm like, this has been clearly taken out of context, and it was.
The reason why maybe people who are pro-vaccine, or just the media, will try to assassinate Joe's character because he's a big name, right?
He has a lot more pull than whatever they're saying. Let's be honest. Real.
He has more?
He has more pull, like social media clout.
Exactly. That's what I want to say. Yeah. He has more pull. Like what he says, whether he's right or wrong, what he says is, many people listen and follow him, right?
Yeah.
There are many people who will now choose not to get the vaccine and get ivermectin just because Joe Rogan said that he got it, right?
Yep.
So maybe that's why people are angry about it. It's like, hey, we thought the vaccine was going to help people, but now this guy says he's not getting the vaccine, he's taking another drug. And now my wife, my husband doesn't get the vaccine because Joe Rogan said so. And that's the fear, I guess. That's the fear that people have. That's the fear that the media has, or rather, I assume I assume they have good intentions. I don't know.
Joe's explanation of the entire situation, you go like, this is just a guy who just went to a doctor and got some drugs, and that's just the end of it. And he felt better after. So if you want to question the drug, sure. But now you're doing this whole, like you said, character hit piece.
Yep.
It just doesn't look good. CNN, it doesn't look good. We're in the age of just discredit them. You can't if you can't create a good argument, if you can't even argue with the person, just discredit them. And you just automatically invalidates their position or anything that they say, any opinion that they have.